happened between them and Candace Owens. Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, face of the Conservative Party. I think you can probably put those two names with Tucker. Those are three of the biggest faces of the Conservative Party. I don't know if I put a name above them. I think they're top three.
They're top five altogether, yeah.
I think they're in the top five altogether,
yeah, for
right?
Sure.
And all of a sudden, you see Daily Wire, they're going to be the one that's going to compete with Fox. Here's what Daily Wire is doing. The Daily Wire is doing this. Daily Wire is doing that. And they're growing. And next thing you know, well, you can't, Candace starts asking some questions. She starts calling out certain people. She has this Shmuley guy and all these other people. Like, hey, what about this and what about that? And the next thing you know, no, we chose to fire her because we're a publisher. We're not a platform. So they chose to take the position as a publisher. And the rift.
Okay, so he's breaking down everything that we do need broken down. Patrick Bet-David and Vivek Ramaswamy sat down. They talked about a bunch of stuff, but I wanted to really hone in on this too. On the second part of me talking about our rights. Okay, because people aren't paying attention to what's going on. I hope these videos move, guys. Please. Don't forget to hit the like button. Sorry, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers to start live streaming. It's important to talk about this stuff. Yeah, it's hard to talk about, but we're going to look up and we're going to be so controlled and we're going to ask ourselves, how did we get here? Okay, because on the other side of it, where it comes to the culture war, I'm looking at certain topics when it comes to, I bring it up again, where men are renting wombs for babies and all this. And I'm like, how did we get here? Right. So before we get there with our freedom of speech, let's start talking about these controversial topics now.
Was this specific topic? How closely are you following what happened between Candace, Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro? And when you look at that, do you have any thoughts where you say, I think it should have been this way, or I don't know enough about it? What's your position on that?
So peripherally, yes. Yeah. What I've been following more closely is the public sector response, right? So, I mean, I'm not in the business of running for the president of Daily Wire, but I was recently in the business of running for president of the United States. So I take a look at what Congress is doing, for example. It's parallel topic, but in a domain that I think more people will be familiar with in the inside base. We're on a podcast, in the world of podcasting, that seems like a big deal. Let's talk about what's happening in the country.
Shout out.
Is what happened in Israel wrong on?
Shout out to Vivek. He's right. Because we do get into this thing, right? And I know for me, like, it's like, yeah, we're in the world of podcasting. So we talk about, or like content creating. So we talk about these big names and their back and forths. And really what happened there too was pretty bad, with what they did with Candace and everything, but bringing it to the American people who are going to watch this, who maybe don't know about Candace and Ben Shapiro, especially the way the algorithm works, so we should talk about things that are going to concern them as, not them, concern everybody as a whole as well. Yeah. Shout out to Vivek for that one.
October 7th, was that wrong? Absolutely was. Does Israel have a right to defend itself? Absolutely it does. Is a lot of the anti-Semitism that we see in response in the United States wrong? Yes, it is. But it is beyond idiotic. It is dangerous that we see an act passing Congress. And this is not like some sort of theoretical bill that's been proposed. That would be bad enough. We've seen that one. You got it up right there. The Anti-Semitism Awareness Act that has now been passed by the U.S. House of Representatives, that literally says there are certain opinions you cannot express in the United States of America. You cannot, I think different definitions that have been adopted in this bill, you cannot compare the actions of Israel to Hitler. You cannot question the dual loyalty of Jews in the United States. Do I agree with these claims? Of course not. I think it's ridiculous to compare Israel's actions to those of Hitler. I think it's disgusting. But the United States of America is the quintessential country where you get to express an opinion.
And it is being taken very much for granted that this is what we have here. This is what makes us us. My gosh, like we can't. I feel like it's like we can't hold on to anything anymore. You know what I mean? Like, my goodness, this country. Like, first of all, with the Marxism that takes place constantly with DEI, affirmative action. You know me, I call it all out. I don't care because I want the country that is supposed to be. Our government is too big. We have agencies everywhere. EPA. You know what I mean? The federal. What is it? The FA, oh my God, how could I forget the freaking, the medical federal department or whatever that approves the medications and stuff that actually they're not really doing a good job, or even what goes into our foods and stuff like that. Like there is, CDC, everything. You think these things are here to help. They're not here to help, right? So, okay, we have a huge government. That's one thing. But now we're writing bills for speech. This is dangerous. I have accepted that people are not going to like me simply because I'm Black. And I'm perfectly fine with that in this America. We are the only country that we're allowed to be as rude and crass as we want to be, as long as we're not hurting anybody. Now, obviously, I don't want anybody to be rude. I don't want anybody to be crass. I think that's the thing that we have to work with. Grassroots, reaching out to people and seeing like, hey, what are the differences? What is it that you don't like? And listening to folks talking. Okay, we could talk about that, right? But you cannot legislate tolerance.
And one of the things that I think we've lost in this country in the last 5 years is we've had so much mumbo jumbo about all the exceptions to free speech. I mean, if one more person tells me, oh, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, it's just like, okay, you trite truism machine. Of course, Oliver Wendell Holmes said that. Yes. You can't threaten to kill somebody. You can't sell this and claim to be medicine when in fact it's snake oil. That's commercial fraud. But here, let me boil down the First Amendment to one thing. And it's sad that I have to say this because everyone's forgotten it, but I'm going to make the First Amendment 101 right here. Okay. The First Amendment means one thing in the United States. It means this: you are free to express any opinion. Period. That doesn't mean you're free to lie about what this contains, telling you this is medicine when it's poison. It doesn't mean that I'm free to threaten to kill you. That's not an opinion. That's an action. But you are free to express an opinion no matter how heinous it is. And that law, right up there on the screen right now, the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act that has passed the U.S. House of Representatives, including with Republican support, is a disgusting anti-American response to disgusting opinions that are best defeated through more speech, not less.
Boom. Okay. And he's so right. And I want to just show you guys some examples of our government straight up working against us. I mean, there's just no other word for it. You know what I mean? Please, guys, again, I'm sorry. I keep saying hit the like button, but the reason why, and I never do this like multiple times in a video, but it's like, man, this stuff is so important to talk about. And I feel like when I make these really important, like I know I clickbaited it. Like I haven't even edited this or anything or made the thumbnail. Guaranteed I probably put something on here that is not in fact what's going on. I'm sorry, but I'm not. We have to talk about this. We believe in free speech and free expression, but no, that's the rest of it is garbage, whatever you like, you know what I mean? I believe in free speech and free expression. Full stop. That's it. You stop right there. Because anything else that you're saying, we have laws to take care of it. If people are, planning to hurt somebody, yes, well, we have to deal with that. But we disavow violence. We disavow that kind of stuff, right? But if somebody's expressing themselves, if somebody's walking around with a shirt that says, end all the blacks, they technically can have that shirt on. They're in the market getting stuff. They can have that shirt on. I wonder, let's do it, guys. I'm sorry. We have to have the conversations because you need to understand, do you live in America or not? What if somebody wore a shirt with I've seen this picture with the H guy. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And he's like feeding a deer. What if somebody got that on a shirt and went to the market with it? Are they going to put that person in jail? Anyway, I believe in free speech and free expression. But I think we can all draw the line at pro-terrorist encampments being established on our college campuses. That is a very subjective argument. You don't have to like the protesters. You don't, man. Like, I get it, man. They look weird and all that, this, that, and the other, right? But I'll tell you this. These kids, they're not going to have a future because they were already told that they're going to be doxxed. And everybody's saying don't hire them. And they will get every last one of their names. So they did put themselves out on the line. And if you look at what they're asking about, free speech is one of it, okay? This is a problem. But if people want to act like it's not, that's on them. I don't know what else to say.